Death isn't written in stone anymore. For centuries, we've accepted the narrative that getting older means accepting decline, that your body is a machine wearing out, destined to rust and stop. But what if I told you that the very idea of inevitable decay is wrong? What if the biological clock ticking inside you isn't counting down to zero, but can actually be rewound? That is exactly what cutting-edge science now tells us. It's not magic, it's engineering. And more importantly, it starts right here, right now, because the gap between where we are today and where we will be tomorrow has never been wider. Think of your body less like a car engine that grinds down with mileage, and more like a computer running corrupted software. Right now, medicine tries to patch holes, treating high blood pressure here, fixing broken joints there, but it ignores the operating system error happening beneath everything. Scientists have finally cracked the code on why that corruption happens. They call it epigenetics. Imagine your DNA is the hard drive full of perfect files. Over decades, bad habits, toxic environments, and random cellular accidents scramble the file folders. You still have all the original blueprints for youth, but the library is so messy you can't find the manual for how to stay alive. The good news? We don't need to replace the hard drive. We just need to clean up the shelves. Experiments with mice prove this works spectacularly well. By introducing specific genetic switches, researchers have doubled the healthy lifespan of lab rats, equivalent to 80-year-old humans. Their fur grew back, their eyesight returned, and their hearts pumped like they were 20 again. Why? Because they reactivated dormant repair mechanisms that had gone offline. If it worked perfectly in mice, imagine the trajectory for humans. We aren't talking about waiting another century, we're looking at a future where these techniques move from the lab bench to your pharmacy shelf within the next 5 to 10 years. But technology won't save you if you keep sabotaging yourself. Nature gives you a massive advantage. Roughly 90% of how fast you age depends on your choices, not your genes. Yet, many people walk straight into traps that accelerate the rot. Smoking, yes, obviously. But look closer. Frequent flying exposes you to cosmic radiation that shatters chromosomes. Loud noise damages the same cellular pathways that kill neurons. Ultra-processed foods flood your system with inflammatory chaos. Avoiding these isn't just about feeling better, it's about buying yourself extra decades of actual life. Some experts estimate that eliminating these toxins alone could add nearly a decade to your expected lifespan instantly. So, how do you trigger that reset button without needing a miracle cure yet? You embrace the power of stress. Counterintuitively, doing nothing makes you weaker. True longevity comes from hormesis, exposing your body to small, survivable doses of adversity. Think of it as building muscle. You lift weights until you feel pain, then rest, and come back stronger. Fasting does something similar at a molecular level. When you skip meals, your insulin drops, and your body enters a mode called autophagy. Literally translated, it means self-eating. Your immune system goes housekeeping, hunting down and digesting damaged proteins and dysfunctional mitochondria. Without this periodic cleanse, trash piles up, turning your cells into garbage dumps prone to cancer and dementia. Pair this with rigorous aerobic exercise, which keeps your telomeres intact, and you are fighting entropy head-on. Don't forget the little things either. Eating dark leafy greens like Brussels sprouts provides sulforaphane, a compound that activates defense genes. Using red light therapy helps regenerate skin and protect eyes. Taking care of your vascular health by managing specific markers like lipoprotein ensures oxygen gets delivered where it's needed. These aren't optional trends, they are the maintenance schedule required to run a premium organism. This brings me to a radical thought. Many people ask, if I live forever, what am I going to do? There is a terrifying assumption that having infinite time dilutes the value of each second. Nothing could be further from the truth. Fear of death drives anxiety, limits creativity, and forces rush decision. Remove that ceiling, and suddenly you can spend 40 years mastering a skill, raise children late in life, pivot careers twice, and explore cultures you couldn't afford to visit earlier. Picture a society where 60-year-olds haven't lost their vigor, where retirement doesn't mean fading away, but continuing to contribute with fresh energy. Economists warn of the cost, but consider the alternative: paying trillions annually to treat chronic diseases caused purely by neglectful aging prevention. Investing in longevity is cheaper than paying the bill for letting everyone die slowly. We stand on the precipice of a transition that changes everything. We are moving from a culture of palliative care to one of preventative restoration. The days of hiding frailty are ending. Soon, treatments might allow you to reverse the effects of blindness, heal scarred livers, and stabilize neurodegenerative diseases by simply flipping a genetic switch. It sounds stiffy, but the data from primate studies shows us returning to sight in weeks. The barrier left is mostly logistical and ethical, not technical. Ultimately, the choice is yours. Will you continue to accept the default setting of gradual destruction, blaming fate for your limitations? Or will you realize that you hold the keys to rebooting your own system? The science is settled. The methods exist. The question is no longer if you can live longer and healthier, but whether you have the discipline to optimize your input to get the best possible output. Stop waiting for permission to take charge of your biology. Start today. Cleanse, move, nourish, and observe. Your future self is begging you to make sure they arrive ready to thrive, not just survive. Remember, the only thing limiting your potential isn't your ageets, your willingness to adapt. Go out there and reclaim your time. Check out Profile for podcast summaries.